journal entry for uh, Saturday, Saturday, July 18th. Saturday, July 18th. I stayed home today, but there were just as many attacks as there are when I go out. So, um, I woke up and it was hot. I was hoping it would cool down because it rained last night, but it was hot. It was like 86 degrees in my house and sweaty and yucky. And then I went out to make some coffee on my porch. I made some coffee on my porch, and there were spies. The woman that lives right across from the street, or right across the street from me, was sitting. Like, they just have a small area with an awning. It's only a few feet, so there's no chair or anything. It's like a step. So the neighbor that lives right across the street was just sitting on the step for I don't know how long, because this was in the afternoon. And so she was sitting there waiting for me to come out. Apparently this is her job now. So I don't know who's paying her. I don't know who's hired her. But she's just sitting outside of her front door. And I open up the door to get like the coffee filter and the carafe to put water in. And then as soon as I do, she's got her phone and she does something on her phone. Then I go put water in the carafe. I put grounds in the basket. I come back out. Then it was perfectly timed. At the end of the block, there was a man and a woman in a baby stroller. And so as soon as I opened the door up to fill up the coffee machine with water and put the filter basket back in, then a couple with a baby in a stroller walked by, and I know they were there for me because it must have been 90 degrees today. This is not a good day to take a stroll. It was hot. And it was as soon as I opened the door, they started to come down the block. Like, they started to cross the street so I could see them. So it was as soon as I opened the door, and the man kept looking at me to make sure I saw. So I'm not making this up. Like, I open the door, then on cue, they start walking. I don't know if there's an actual baby in there. Maybe it's not. I don't know. But then the man keeps looking at me several times as he crosses, because this is what he was sent to do. They were sent, I don't know what, to make me sad that my own children work for Satan and they don't like me. I don't know. But if you really want to hurt my feelings, then you can walk an air conditioner down the block. But yeah, there were some more spies. I mainly stayed home. But then there was a severe attack later. My watch is not on because of the severe. It was a horrible attack, and it was one of the worst. And I don't want to say I snapped, but it was like, that's it. After what these people did, I called the cops. I normally don't call the cops. I just leave it alone. I let God handle it. But this time, this was too far. So, I went out to the shed at some point. It was real hot. And then as soon as I went out there, like, the sky was real weird. Like, there were clouds and it started to cool down and there was some rain. It was neat. So then I was in the shed, and then, like, some heavy rain came down and I was watching it. I was watching. I got a window in my shed. I was watching the rain from inside my shed. Oh, before this, I want to say, then when I went to pour my coffee, so, like, when I went to turn the coffee on, then the couple with the baby walked past. Then when I went to get my coffee, the man that's across the street in one house over was sitting outside. So this is what they do. He's got like a toddler or something. He's sitting on the step with the baby. And it was only so I could see. It is too hot. No one is sitting out. It's like 90 degrees. And there was nothing to do. They just sit there. And I don't know what is this to make me sad. But anyways. And it was so hot. I thought I was supposed to cool down because of the weather. But, I went out to the shed. Shortly after this, it started raining. And then it cooled down, and it was really neat with it. There's like some heavy rain, then the rain stopped, and the rain was heavy again, and I was watching it. Then I went back in the house, and I left, or I either wanted to get something out of the shed, or I left something there. I don't remember. I was headed back to the shed, and the dogs were in the house with me. And then I go to the shed again, and they head out, and they go ahead of me. Now, the shed is in my backyard. And as I'm going to the shed, I notice someone has opened my gate to the backyard. And I have a big privacy fence. You have to come in, and you have to walk, like, I don't know, 20 feet or so, or 30 feet to... Or probably... something like 25 feet you have to walk to get to my fence gate. You have to come into my yard beyond the privacy fence. Someone came in, opened my gate. They left it wide open. Now, this does not happen on its own. This is a chain link, and it has one of those door catches. You have to lift it up. It will not open on its own. No amount of wind or anything. This does not happen. And I never leave this open. So somebody came into my yard, opened the gate, and then left the door wide open. So then I went to go to the shed. The dogs saw me get up. They went. They were going in the backyard too. They went ahead of me. And then I look as I'm in the backyard headed towards the shed. The gate is open, and the dogs are going out. Like, oh no, oh no. And I just had, like, some pajamas on, and it wasn't enough clothes. Like, I had to run, because I tried to call them, but they weren't. They started running. And then, so I had to go back in the house, put, like, this on, because it was so hot, like, I didn't have very much. This was all an attack. It was so hot, I didn't have enough clothes on to go chase the dogs down in the neighborhood. So, I went back in the house, quickly tossed on a different shirt. Actually, it wasn't this shirt. It was a big t-shirt. Put something away. I grabbed a package of frozen meat. And I grabbed a couple of leash. Then I went in the shed. I got the other leash. So now I got 2 dogs loose. Of course, my Shar-Pei is still in the yard. He's better behaved. The dogs that are difficult are gone. So, I get 2 leashes, I got a package of meat, and I got peanut butter, and I got a bag, and I start heading out. I've got to get, and of course, in my mind, like, I say to God, I ask God to keep him safe. I ask God to help me get him. I ask God to keep him safe. And I see my big boy, and he's still, like, kind of towards the end of the privacy fence. He went out and came back. He sees me. He knows he doesn't want to go back in the yard. He doesn't. But, I get him first. because my little girl, she's faster, but more could happen with my big dog. Like, he's not as street smart as the little one is. So, and also, if he got into a fight, he could hurt another dog. And he's not aggressive. There's many reasons. I want to get the large dog first before he gets too far. And this dog weighs more than 100 pounds. So, of course, I don't have any choke chain, nothing like that. But I got the meat. And I call him, and and then when he sees me coming, he goes into the alley and into someone else's yard. But I managed to get him, put him on the leash, and I got the meat. And then as I get towards the yard, he's pulling, and he bites the leash like he's going to break it, and I have to push his head because he could bite that leash right off. Before I used, it had metal chains, and I need to get one again for him. But then he started to pull. And so I had to be kind of strategic because I have another dog in the yard. And I can't just leave the gate wide open or he'll get loose. So I don't remember what I did, but I used the meat and I was nice to him, and then I got him in the... It was kind of difficult. I had to pull, then I had to stop, and I had to trick him a little, get him into the yard. And then I closed it. Now, here's the difficult thing, is my little dog is a mountain cur, which is a pioneer hunting dog. She is fast like a little greyhound, and she's a butthead, and she doesn't listen. So I had the peanut butter, I had a bag, I'm trying to get her. She sees me, and she will start running. She will not stop. And then this continued for several blocks. I've got to chase her down. And then I don't want her to get hurt. And I ask God again to keep her safe. Because she runs in the road, everything. She's not even coming back for food. Nothing. She doesn't care. Now, there is a car stopped in the road, and there's a man in the vehicle. And he says, there's a dog here. I said, that's my dog, because I'm running. And so he wants to help. And he tries to call the dog from his car. And then, and she's running, she's going this way. There's somebody in their yard with their dogs. They have a fence. And then she goes and barks, and they're barking, and it's causing trouble. But I can't grab her. She's fast. She runs away. And then I asked the man, oh, can I open your door? That'll get her to come in. And she's like, sure. And then he's like, sure. And then she starts running this way. And I chase her. This continues for a while. And then finally, I ask if I open his passenger door, and I go to put the peanut butter in there. And she's happy. She's having fun. This is a game to her. And then she jumps in to the car. And then I jump in behind her. And then I got the peanut butter, and I close the door to get the leash on. And I tell the man, thank you. And it's like, oh, she's got something on her. Yes, she is rolled in diarrhea, like some type of animal feces, and it's all over her collar, and it's all over her neck. Now it's on my hand because I had to grab the collar. It was like yellow, soft, smelly shit, and it's all over her collar. And she's in the man's car, but her body is fine. And I made sure to close the door using the back, so I didn't get his car dirty. And then I told him, I thanked the man, and I said, somebody opened my gate on purpose to let my dogs out. And I said, thank you. I said, God bless you. And then I left, and I used my arm to close the door so his car didn't get dirty. But he was like, oh, she's got something on. She got into something. Yep. Yeah, she does that. Mountain curs are part dingo, I think. Or something. Well, no, that's an Australian cattle. Well, anyway, she's probably worse behaved than a cattle dog. I think so. She's like an Australian cattle dog, a pioneer hunting dog, and she barks a lot, and she doesn't listen. And she rolls in poop like a dingo. I mean, it's bad. But she's real loving. I love my dog. I'm just saying, this dog is very difficult, and that's why they are not advised for the city. I was with the devil before, and he knew she was a mountain cur. He knew that there was this rural dog shelter that just got mountain curs in. So we always went to the same animal shelter, but he found out there was mountain curs, and this is like a 45-minute drive. So he's like, "Oh, let's go to this one today." It happened to be the first day that they have these new puppies available. And like, you can get it if you want. You can get it. You can get that dog. And then they keep saying this. I'm like, fine, I'll get the dog. And of course, I love my dog, but it was on purpose because she's a mountain cur and she's difficult. She's fast. She doesn't listen and she's naughty. Anyways, um, I did get her home, and then both of my hands are dirty. So I'm walking, and I did bring a bag with me. But then when I go around to get the bag, it's gone. So I think the neighbor has gotten home now. So there's another car parked right next to my yard. They weren't there before. And they probably threw away the bag or got the bag. Now the bag is gone. This is an attack with many people involved, what they do. And so I need something. I can't even open my gate. First of all, I'm concerned because my big dog now, he's barking, he's going crazy. I came towards the yard with my little dog on a leash, and he's barking, and he even tried to open the gate a little with his mouth, and I said no. As he's going crazy, that Sarah, my little girl, Sarah DeCauley, is now she is now loose. She's on the leash, and he's not. So he's freaking out. And so I leave, and I walk around the block, and I'm looking for the bag, and then I'm thinking there's always trash on the ground. If I just walk around a couple blocks, I'll find another bag on the ground or something, so I can open up my door with the bag and not, because my hands are covered in animal feces. And then I don't see anything, and I go, and then I walk around, and I do see a man in red with a red mower, and then I see people in the yard right next door standing outside, and then I see the man that lives a few houses down that puts a bunch of garbage in his yard, the hoarder house, who is an enemy. This man is an enemy, and he's a spy. And he was watching as my dogs got loose, so I don't know who did what, but they all knew something was going on. They might have all been involved in this. I'm imagining, like, it's most likely they were all involved in this, but it's possible that there's just spies and they were watching anyways, and maybe somebody completely different they had no idea came and did this, and then they spy on me, so they're like, oh, her dogs are loose. So that's possible too. But the house right next to me, there's people standing outside. They usually do not do this, so they might have been involved. And I'm thinking that I was in a group the day before, and I mentioned where I lived. I was asked where I live. I said that, and there was 3 people other than me in this group. There was a man who I think is good. There's a woman who goes to church who kind of seems like she might be a witch or she might be good. And then there's a man who I know sides with the coven. And so I was asked my address, and I said my address. And also, he was supposed to hear. Because when I started to talk, when it was my turn, the woman was like, oh, wait for this man to get back. He had to go to the bathroom. So this is what I'm saying. This isn't anyone's secret information. It was important that he was there. So there was a woman there. So there's the man that runs the group. There's a woman that I think she runs the group, too. And then there was another man who attends, who sides with the coven. And I started to talk to them, and this man had went to the bathroom, and they're like, oh, wait till he gets back, because, he might have some advice. Okay. So I wait. And I think he heard my address, so it's possible that maybe, and the other man running the group, he might have been recording. The woman that kind of runs the group, too, she might have said something to someone else. So I don't know. But a new group of people got my address. And now, the next day, someone has come to my yard and opened up my gate. Anyways, I walk around a couple blocks. I see no bag. My bag was missing. At first, I was just going to look for my bag that I left. and it was gone. So I think the neighbor came home and got my bag because they probably knew I would need it. And then, so then I walk again. So I walk around a few blocks again. And then I see some people out, and I ask if they have a bag. And there's some people crossing the road, and they get the cigarette out, and they're trying to hurry up and find a lighter so they can smoke on me. And I ask if they have a bag. I'm like, no, just the one I'm holding. There was a bag in his bag. I could see it. He had a clear bag, and there was like a grocery store bag inside of it. So he did have one, but I didn't press. He's like, I just got this bag. I'm carrying some. Okay, I understand. Then I keep walking. There's a woman, like my neighbor, is under the covered porch sitting there, and I asked, "Do you have a bag? I could have like a Myers bag or something." She's like, "No." And then I know, they know, I have got probably dog shit on my hands. I need a bag to get into my house. And so they are not giving me one. They're watching and they're withholding. So I walk around again, and then I actually remembered I might have a bag on my front porch. So I go to my front porch, and it's actually a trash bag. It is a bag that I meant to throw away, and I just tossed out there, and then I forgot. And so it had rotten food in it. But anyways, so I get this bag, and there's two bags. So I take the inner bag with my elbow, throw it in the dumpster, get the other one to open my gate. Now I'm concerned my big dog's going to try to get out as I get in, and my hands are dirty. I tell him, get back. I kind of open it with the bag, and then I push my foot towards him to push his head back. Not hard, but I'm saying I need to get him back because he can't get through this gate now. I can't. I can't. It's too much. And then I get her in there. And then I take the bag off, and then she's got feces all over her neck, all over her collar. It's on the leash too now. It's on my hands. And now I've taken the bag off my hands without thinking. I had wrapped it around. And that was so that I could take off her collar. And so then I just went ahead and took off her collar, and I'm like, great. Now I needed this bag to get in my house. And so then I look and I see some giant leaves, and I rip the leaves off. Then I open the door. I go wash my hands. My watch, up to here, has got shit on it, and I take my watch off, and I spend like 5 minutes washing my hands, then I gotta cover up like my couch bed because I can't have my dog on that, getting it dirty. I found some boxes, put it on there. I'm thinking like I am mad. It's like, that's it. I'm calling the cops. I don't normally call the cops. All these people here involved in selling drugs and gangs and messing with me, throwing trash in my yard, letting their weeds grow, being rude, just parking their cars too close to my yard. I don't, just annoying things. They do. They spy on me. I don't contact the police. Well, this was too far. So as soon as I had a chance, after I washed my hands, I went back out, and now I have locked my back gate even when I'm home. Normally I don't. It's fine. But now, after what happened, I'm just leaving it locked. And I also cleaned it again just to be sure. Now my dogs are pretty happy, and I thanked God. I thank God that they're alive and they're back home. But I had to run. It was probably like I had to go like a mile around the neighborhood. I have feces on my hand, walk of shame. No one will help me. No one will give me a bag. They're watching. They're spying. Actually, I see the white vehicle that spies on me. Several spies were probably like looking to see what would happen. Oh, they see me walking my dog. Okay, I already got the other one in the yard. Now the little one is on the leash, and I'm just walking around the block. So the spies are seeing, oh, I have my dog. I don't know if they notice I've got dog shit on my hands, but other people probably do. And they're not helping me. But, once I have a minute and I sit down, I call the cops and I tell them. I said, these people, they throw trash in my yard. I don't know if they're parking too close to my driveway, open my gate. And so the officer actually said to get a security camera. To get a security camera and record my yard. And that does make sense. And I said, people drive by, they throw trash out of their vehicles. And I know that God renders judgment. And that is what I have relied on. And that's what's been happening. But today was a step too far. And then I called the cops. And then I I told them about, like, on my block, someone has let their weeds, like, there's trees overgrowing, blocking the sidewalk, and it smacks me in the face. If I'm on the sidewalk, and then there's always a car coming, so that I can't get around it. They do this on purpose. They park their cars too close to my yard on purpose, just to inconvenience me. Because they are disbelievers. Because they sell drugs, or they're rude, or they're sinning. So they want to attack me. Or that maybe they go to a Christian church where they believe in the crucifixion of Christ gets them to heaven. The suffering of Christ gets them to heaven. So you got your religious nut jobs like that. You got your idolaters. You got your disbelievers. You got your drug gangs. Of course, there was bikers. I heard bikers zipping by today. And I heard a person come in the yard next door. And then all the spies, military, CIA pays. The whole city is against me. And after the meeting yesterday, and I was thinking about how I was trying to get in touch with the government officials, and they said they would help, but then they never got back to me. Well, I assumed that it was because they have coven members on their staff. And now I'm thinking they are in on it. The government officials are in on it. The ones that pretended they would help me are evil too. And they probably are, because they have probably had to sell out to get their positions. And this is something I didn't mention. It's like I went into this little shopping mall, and I actually looked. It's just a building with a few stores. And I actually went in and looked at the stores for the first time. And then there was people in there using witchcraft and magic. This is the whole town. Everybody knows except for me. Everybody knew. Now I know. It's the norm. Everyone, like all the businesses, are using witchcraft to get more sales. And they curse people when they're mad at them. And they have demons so they can see who carries the light and the Holy Spirit. And they don't like that. And they preemptively attack them. And then God sees that. God renders some judgment on them, and they think I've done something. They come after me again, and I had no idea any of this was going on. But anyways, I call the cops. They don't really do much, but they tell me, like, I'm gonna contact code enforcement, and I'm gonna get in touch with them. And I already recorded. Oh, here's the parking right next door. It's not like this by anyone else's property, just mine. So now I have a video. I posted it on my account, and now I have sent it to the police. I didn't do it until this happened. You guys mess with my dogs, you've gone too far. And then after I did this, and I was kind of like finishing up washing my hands, then the phone rings again. So actually, right before I went outside, and my dogs got loose, the phone rang, and it was my father. And then I had touched some food, and I was going to eat something, and I saw it, and I'm like, I'm not going to get this now. I've got to go to the bathroom. I'm hungry. I'm not going to get the phone now. And so I don't know if maybe something else would have happened if I did get the phone, because I had to see my dogs getting loose. Had I gotten the phone with my father, maybe he's in on it. He's probably attacking me now because my daughter's bribing, blackmailing him, and doesn't want to visit him because he helped me. So if he knew, or he was told to call me, and this is right when somebody opened my gate, the dogs could have got loose and hit if I was on the phone. So good. I'm glad I didn't get it. Or maybe if I got the phone, they wouldn't have opened the gate. But anyways, then after I'm washing my hands, I'm finishing up. Once I'm finally back, I see my father's calling again. I said, actually, I don't know if it was him calling, but the phone was ringing. I imagine it's him, because it's after 9 o'clock at night now. And I said, I'm not answering it. Someone just messed with my dogs. I'm not answering the phone. Then the phone stops ringing. I don't know. It might have been my father. It probably was. It could have been a spam call, because they submit my phone number to databases, or as my father. I said, I'm not getting it. And then it stops. It doesn't even ring all the way. And then I go outside. I think this is when I'm just wiping over the chain link fence latch, because even though I had a bag, I might have gotten it a little dirty, but it wasn't horribly dirty. So I'm just going over that again. I got my dogs, and I left my keys outside. I had my lantern outside, and then I had a package of meat that I bribed them with, and they hadn't eaten it, so I had some stuff to do. And while I'm out there, I hear the neighbors are outside right next door. I hear them talking, and then I loudly say to my enemies, I don't remember what I said. I said, I declare and decree instant karma. And I said something with the power of the one true living. I said it loud, the one true living God. I said, show them the power of the one true living God. And so I said this loud. They could hear. It's like, that's it. I said, I declare and decree instant karma on my enemies. And I said this loud. So my neighbors that were outside, they heard. And then a minute later, I hear someone leaving. I hear someone screaming. I hear bikes going by. So I don't know if this is trying to attack me more. They might have been trying to attack me more. And then I heard, and then I went, after I did this, I said it loud. I think the neighbors on both sides of me could hear. I called instant karma. Down. She's getting on the couch, and she still has, I can't give her a bath. My plumbing doesn't work. Sarah, down. Sarah, down. Good. You gotta stay off my bed. She's a little cleaner now. But I put boxes on my bed to keep her off. There's no room even for her to be on there. And then she got up there anyways. And she's on the edge. Look, she's on the back of the couch. But she rolled in probably dog feces. So, and it was moist and just smelly. So I think probably somebody collected this and sat it out there. It's not normal. It's not what you normally find. It was like from a dog that was sick or something. But, let's see, what was I talking about? So I declared and decreed karma. And there was neighbors out on both sides, and they could hear. And I go in my shed, and then I hear, some bikes. I hear a woman screaming. I hear a cat making a weird noise. Weird stuff's going on. And then I hear fireworks going on. I don't know, but I don't see any. I don't know what's going on. Something has happened. So maybe a woman was upset that they did something. I'm okay, and now I've called karma and they heard. Or maybe they are getting karma. I don't know. I trust God is delivering the karma, because even when I don't call it in, they get it that night or the next day. Well, I declared and decreed instant karma. I normally don't take matters into my own hands, but they had to know. So I said this loud, and then I also said, by the power of the one true living God. I said, and they will see the power of the one true living God. So I said this loud and clear. So I said it loud and clear so the neighbors could hear. There's a flea in here. Spying on me, monitoring spirit, I forbid you. So I was not crying. I had my dogs. I was firm, not extremely angry, but I was stern and I'm kind of mad. And I declared and decree instant karma on my enemies. And then I also, right after that, I said something about the power, through the power of the one true living God, so they could hear, because they don't worship God. Well, maybe they will once they get their karma. And then, I called the police. I forwarded them the video I made of my driveway. Maybe this is fine. Maybe it's not. I don't know. But I don't like it. And it's rude. It's rude. It's inappropriate. If you have 5-6 cars jammed there, it's time to buy a new house. It's time to buy a new house. What kind of trash house is this? And I'm honest, the honest to God's truth. Where I live, houses sell for $20,000, $30,000. Houses sell. So this house right next door, it's got to be a $50,000 house, maybe less. I don't know. Why are there 6 people living there? What is the matter with these people? I don't understand. the living situation, for how inexpensive the house is. They should have another house. I really don't understand this. It's like, are you trying to cram people like sardines into a house just to make my life worse? I think they are. I think so. Like, and it's actually worse for them because my vehicle has not worked for the last year and a half. So they really just gotta do like a shuffle to park their own vehicles there. And so their yard looks like trash. Their house looks bad. They don't fix it. There is a lot, and there's cars parked behind. So they have 2 garages, and they park the cars behind the garage, and then they gotta get them in so that they're almost touching the alley, because the garages are not being used for vehicles. Apparently, somebody's working in one. The other one's probably storage. Maybe there was a motorcycle in one. I thought there was a guy living in one. And then there's like a little yard in the middle. They got dogs out there that apparently, like, I thought they just leave them outside all the time and don't take care of them. This is a sign of a bad person. If your dogs are outside all day and you don't play with them and you don't talk to them and you don't take care of them, you are a bad person and God will judge you. That is far worse than the parking situation. I even try to say nice things to these dogs when I see them. Like, what is it matter with the people in this neighborhood? They have dogs, they leave them outside, and they don't take care of them. You are a bad person, and you deserve the judgment from God if you don't take care of your animals. What I mean is, like, I will go outside no matter what time of day. These dogs are outside, and they are alone. There is no human interaction, and it's not right. And then there's like a small yard in the middle, a privacy fence blocking it, and then 2 sheds, and then they act all shifty, and then a bunch of people living in this inexpensive house that it's got like some damages no one fixes. How come nobody's painting the house? How come no one's fixing the porch? They just let it fall apart. There are so many adults living in this house. The house is so inexpensive. They don't do anything to fix this house. They let it fall apart and look like shit. They don't take care of their dogs. And they cram their cars in the back. And they also park their cars across the street, too. Like, I have never seen... This is, and I want to say white trash, because they're not all. They're every group. This is on purpose. This is what the demons and devils do. So, God will restore the land. God will fix the dilapidated, run-down neighborhoods and houses, but you have to repent. How is it working living in sin? Not doing the right thing. God could fix all of this. God could fix all of this in a month. I wouldn't say a day. I don't know. God can do anything. But you have to repent, and you have to do what's right. Okay, so if the people in the neighborhood are selling drugs, God's not going to fix the neighborhood. If the people in the neighborhood, like, I don't know what to say. Because they're not taking care of anything. They're not taking care of their property. I don't understand it. And, of course, there's more women working than men. There's a lot of children born out of wedlock. And the men aren't fixing their homes. They're not taking care of things. This society, it's backwards and upside down. It's a bunch of devil worshippers. And of course, the mothers, they're not raising their children. They're not taking care of their children. I actually think the hoarder guy, who's like the trash house, I think he's got like, he lives in a house with a couple of women. I don't know if they're prostitutes. They look like whores. But maybe this is a daycare. Because across the street is a daycare. So there's a daycare ran by lesbians, and then there's possibly prostitution going on a couple houses down, or maybe this is another daycare. I really can't even tell. This is what it looks like. The women working, and they are, I don't know, probably, well, I don't know what to say, because that's just what it looked like. That's just what it looked like. It probably is. And for how cheap the houses are, like, you can live on $10,000 a year here. Why are women working? Why are the children being sent to daycare? Why are women prostituting themselves and sending their children to daycare? You can live off of $10,000 a year. You have a house that's worth $40,000. Why are 6 adults living there? It's time to buy a new house. It's time to have 2 houses. How come this does not occur to people? And this is not me being mean. Like, I've lived here more than 2 years, and nothing has changed. They had a chance to improve their lives. They had a chance to repent. They had more than 2 years. And it's exactly the same, and nothing changes. So now, you guys see me doing my walk of shame with my broken bicycle, or my dogs. I gotta chase my dogs down, or I got dog shit on my hands, and you won't help. Okay, well guess what? Then I'm putting this video out there. You leave your dogs outside, you don't take care of them. Your house looks like shit, you don't take care of it. Your women are working, they're not raising the children. You park your cars all over the whole neighborhood, make it look like garbage, block my driveway, put weeds in my yard. I don't understand. If they have a decent job making $50,000 a year, how come you don't have money to fix your house, to paint your house? Like, here's a porch with a big hole in it. How come that's not fixed? Shame on you. That's a disgrace. You should be embarrassed as a man to live that way and not provide for your house and not fix your house and not take care of your dogs. Shame on you. I'm going to start recording it and I'm going to put it on here because I've been living here for 2 years. You guys are getting paid to sit outside and watch me. And when I open my door, you walk past families with babies to try to hurt my feelings? Well, how about you use some of that money to fix your porch? It's got a giant hole in it. I don't understand this. How about you use that money to buy another property? Maybe you could rent a garage somewhere to put your extra vehicles in. How come I can think of all these solutions? I just do not understand. If one person has a job making minimum wage, you could pay all the bills and probably fix some of these problems. But they don't. What are you using your money on? I don't understand. I don't understand it. This is a city of pagan idolaters. They eat ham. I don't understand. But then I do run into good people too. I run into some good people too. But they are blocked from being able to interact with me and help me because of the amount of pagan idolaters and witches and warlocks casting spells. They block the normal people from being able to help me. And I know that God does this because I'm on mission from the Lord. I'm used for judgment. There are some good people too. That man today, maybe he was in on it. Maybe he's the one who opened my gate. But maybe he was just there and he wanted to help. Maybe he had nothing to do with opening my gate and only wanted to help. And because of him, I was able to get my dog. So I'm not sure which one, but this might have been a good person I got to see. Possibly a good person today. And praise the Lord that some still exist. But anyways, it's suspicious with my father calling. And I'm supposed to go to a church tomorrow. I'm going to go to the church. Now, I have told people in the group, they invited me to their home, and they probably want to kill me there as some blood sacrifice. So I told the man in the group, and I said, for my safety. Now, there was a fly in that room. Maybe this was the spy. So, they know I told someone what their plans were. So maybe they were the ones behind this. I don't know. It's probably everyone. It's probably the man in the group that likes the coven. It's probably the woman that goes to different churches. I don't know. The man seems like a good guy, but maybe he recorded this. He might even try to help, shows it to someone else, and then they curse me. It could be the neighbors. It could be anyone. If I give someone my address, that allows them. This is spiritual law. It allows them to come and mess with me at my house. So, I don't know. But I take care of my yard. I did not really do the backyard. My lawnmower just stopped working right as I finished the front, so I'm supposed to be restored. Why am I still mowing the yard? There was this charity, my city. They said they were going to help people mow their yard, and I said I didn't have enough gas, and it's just me, and I got a big yard, and they never get back to me. And here I'm thinking, oh, they got witches and warlocks on their staff. Yeah, but they sold out to get their position, so I probably the mayor is in on it. I don't know. Because I assumed she was good. But she was there at the Memorial Day wreath ceremony and left, and as soon as she left, they tried to kill me. So, I don't know, she probably is in on it. And actually, there was some downtown thing with a band playing yesterday. And then there's the more upper class group there. And then they were looking, some of them looked at me. They know who I am. I don't know what they're thinking. They're probably trying to sacrifice me too. Well, guess what? Guess what God says if you read your Bible? Is you don't need to sacrifice someone to get money to fix your town. You stop sinning, you repent. That's what the Bible says. God will heal the land if you turn from your wicked ways. It doesn't say if you sacrifice Christ that God won't heal your city. God won't heal your land if you sacrifice the prophets. That's not how it works. It says if you repent, if you turn back from your wicked ways. Well, I should probably look up the exact verse, but probably more happened. But of course, first thing, it's so hot. It's hot, it's sweaty. I thought about going to the park to use a splash pad, but I didn't. And then there's the neighbor. As soon as I walk out the door, who knows? Maybe she was sitting out there for 3 hours. I really don't know. And as soon as I come out, on the phone, then I go out to put the water in the coffee machine. Then the people, they see I'm there, and then on cue, they walk across to make sure I see the baby. Okay, fine. Go out to get my coffee. Now the man over here, he's got his child. It's too hot. Nobody is playing outside today. They're getting paid to do that. And if they would use the money to do something good, then, it really doesn't affect me that much. But, what I see is the properties are not improved. I don't see anything getting fixed. And actually, the one man with the trash house, I did see his dog was inside. And it wasn't just outside all the time, right after I made a video. So once I mentioned it, maybe he didn't know until they spy on me and watch they're probably spying on this computer. I think they are, because this computer was from my ex, the devil. I'm sure it spies on everything. And then he gives it to all my neighbors. So once I called them out for leaving the dog outside and not taking care of it, then actually it was in the house, I guess, for a while, or maybe he got rid of it. I imagine it's still there. But there was a change. Now, I tried to be nice to these people. I tried to be friendly with them, and they continue to attack me. I just try to keep to myself. So that's it. I've had enough. God's going to get me a new house, and I'm going to move, but I'm not getting rid of this one. No. This is going to be worse for you when I move, because this house is, it was mentioned to me through inspiration to make this into like a museum, or I could make it into a music studio, or this is a historical landmark. This could be a way to make money. Make it into a museum, or I don't want to say bed and not a breakfast, but maybe a rental or a music studio or a place where people can meet. I don't know. Then the neighbors will really have to get themselves in line. And I won't be here for them to mess with anymore. But actually, if it's now revenue generating and bringing in tax money, I think the government will care a little bit. This is a historical landmark that's not being used. And so, this is a famous property. If this is turned into a museum or something that people can come and visit, then I believe the government will get on the neighbors a little bit. So, you guys drive me out, you're not going to like it, because when I'm gone, I'm not selling this property. I'm going to use it even if it doesn't make any money. I'm going to turn it into a site people can come and visit. And they will need to be able to park and get into the driveway. And if they can't, oh, I'm sure the police will be, because I'm sure the police will come here. Because they actually want to improve the city, and they're putting a lot of things in. But I own this property. Anyways, I'm going to get off here. Thanks for watching. God bless.